When It Didn't End That Night by Michelle Crow. There are things that people think end in a moment, a night, an event, a before and an after. But some nights don't end when the sun comes up. They follow you, quietly, in the spaces no one else can see. After I got out of the Navy, I didn't talk about it, not to my family, not to friends, not to anyone in my personal life. The only person I told was my partner. It wasn't something I shared easily. It came out in pieces and moments where the weight of it pressed too hard to keep holding alone. And I trusted that it would stay there, between us. It wasn't because it didn't matter. It was because I didn't have the words, and I didn't know where those words would land if I let them out. So I kept them. I moved forward, the only way I knew how, by putting one foot in front of the other and pretending that was the same thing as healing. The first time it was spoken out loud didn't even come from me. It came from someone else, my partner's mother. We were driving, just a normal day, nothing out of the ordinary, and then she said it, casually, like it was something she had heard in passing. "Oh, I heard that you were," she said the word. And in that moment, I realized something I had trusted to be held with care had been passed along without me. No softness, no care, no understanding of what it meant to say it out loud. And before I could even process it, before I could even breathe through the shock of hearing my story come out of someone else's mouth, a song came on the radio. Oh, hold that thought. This is my favorite song. Just like that, my pain was something that could be paused, set aside, like it wasn't urgent, like it wasn't real. There were other moments too, comments made so casually they almost didn't sound like they should hurt, but they did. Things about how women who were assaulted must have asked for it because of what they wore, because of how they acted. And I remember sitting there holding all of it in, thinking, I had sweatpants on, a sweatshirt. I was jogging. But even if I hadn't been, it still wouldn't have been mine to carry. I didn't say that out loud. I didn't say much at all. Because something in me already knew this was not a safe place for my truth. What people don't always understand is that trauma doesn't just live in your memories. It lives in your body. There were times I didn't want to be touched, times I would flinch without meaning to, times something as simple as a hand at my side would take me somewhere I didn't want to go. And I didn't always know how to explain that. How do you tell someone that your body remembers something your mouth won't say? How do you ask for gentleness when you don't fully understand what you need yourself? There were misunderstandings, moments where I felt unseen, moments where I felt like I was failing at something I couldn't even name. And all of this was happening while I was far from home. My family was in Florida. I was in Ohio. 1,000 miles is a long way to carry something heavy by yourself. I tried to be close to God during that time, and I believe He knew my heart, even when I didn't have the words to give Him. But it was still hard to say it out loud, hard to bring something so heavy into a place that felt like it should be whole and clean and understood. I had a relationship with God, but it wasn't perfect. And it felt like at every turn there was something in the way, something I couldn't quite move past, something that kept me from fully healing there. So even in my faith, I found myself standing at a distance sometimes, wanting closeness, but not always knowing how to reach it. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Psalm 34:18. So I did what I knew how to do. I became a mom. I worked. I showed up where I was needed. I poured myself into everything that asked something from me. because it was easier than sitting still with the things that were asking something of me. From the outside, it probably looked like I was doing okay. I was functioning. I was moving forward. I was handling life. But inside, I was just trying to keep my head above water. There were moments I would stop and think, how am I doing this? How am I carrying all of this and still standing? And the truth is, I wasn't doing it gracefully. I wasn't healing. I wasn't surviving. I didn't tell my parents. Not then. I carried it quietly like something that didn't belong anywhere outside of me. And the longer I carried it, the more it settled in, changing things in ways I didn't fully understand yet. Some nights don't end when the sun comes up. Some follow you into your relationships, into your body, into the way you see yourself and the world around you. And sometimes the hardest part isn't what happened in the moment. It's what happens when no one knows how to hold you afterward. I kept going because that was what I knew how to do. But somewhere in all of that, there was a quiet question I didn't yet have the courage to ask. Not, how did this happen to me? But, what is this going to make of me?